Hi. So today's video is going to be titled, "This is why you don't shoot the messenger." You know that saying, someone tells you something you didn't want to hear, and you're angry at the person that tells you that. Or you watch a reading and they are interpreting the cards in a way that is totally not the way you wanted them to be interpreted. You can't dispute it. You came here because you respect their ability to read the cards, but you're not happy. So some people choose to make comments slamming the reader. But really, people, you can't shoot the messenger. If you don't want to hear what a person has to say or a reader has to say, don't click, don't ask, don't listen. So, I got all duded up here and I look kind of strange. You just notice that. I'm not used to having eyebrows. I tried giving myself eyebrows and I look really weird. Oh well, you get me as I am. The things we'll do for entertainment during a pandemic, eh? Although, I have been busy today playing cat and mouse with a housing scammer, finally nailing him and getting what I needed to confirm that he was scamming me after a day of back and forth. And then I went to an open house where the house was extremely overpriced. Rental house. In a neighborhood that was extremely not desirable. And I realized how many people are profiting off this pandemic. This is not a good time to be having to find a new house. I know that. Definitely, I know it after today. However, that's not what this is about. Although, it does explain why I decided to stop by the liquor store on the way home, which is not a usual stop of mine, and get some strawberry lemonade vodka, which is now in my Rockstar. And, well, it wasn't full to start with, but I've had a few sips. Yes, that is trying to escape reality. I'll admit it. We gotta do what we gotta do sometimes. We'll see how much I can drink out of that drink before I get sleepy. Not a big drinker, but I'm trying it tonight. Oh, now the neighbor is running the loud lawnmower. Can't get too upset about much more today. So I'm just gonna stay zen and mellow, which really is a good way to be if you can manage it. Someone said to me today, happiness is a choice. Damn straight it is. And I am finding happiness to be elusive lately. You may be finding that too. Now, I'm not using this as a way to just bitch and moan and vent, other than, yes, I am, to let you know that sometimes we have to get this shit out. You know, you can only be stoic so long. You can only hold your frustration in so long before it has to come out in some way or another. It's better than self-harming. Well, I think. So, I guess I'm just showing you by my example that sometimes we are just frustrated to the end of our rope, people, and it's okay because the circumstances warrant it. We're in strange times. We really are. Now, I know you're used to me going here and there and all over the place before I get to the point. And I'm not saying I can go directly from here, but I'm going to try to get on track. So my experience with wanting to shoot the messenger. Here we go. The other day in Facebook, which is pretty much my life, sad, but that's the way it is, I clicked on the groups tab, and there are certain local groups that I follow, you know, buy and sell, I will make, awesome. And a post caught my eye that I wish had never caught my eye. I don't want to go too into detail because if you're a strong empath, you might react in the same way I did. There was a post about someone I don't know how to skirt around this. For this to be the video, I kind of have to not skirt around it, so I apologize. If you are feeling vulnerable, if you have a very close affinity with dogs, I want you to click off now, okay? Because I have to kind of tell the story to get to the point. Okay, so apparently someone locally is murdering dogs. And the picture showed a man bending over a dog, a big red dog. And I don't know if this was a security camera that caught the murderer or if it was the owner discovering his dog, but it was a picture that I wish I hadn't seen. I couldn't get it out of my mind. I still can't, obviously, and I apologize. There is a point to bringing this up, and I apologize. If you should have clicked and you didn't, click off now. Because this is about triggers. This is about how we react to them, about the blessing that can be found in them. But if you're feeling really vulnerable, you're not going to give a flying fuck about me getting to the point of the blessing. So be kind to yourself and click off, okay? Anyway, I knew the point of the post was to alert other owners, you know, to be on the watch out, to be very careful about their dogs, make sure that their dogs wouldn't be vulnerable to this also. I didn't read anything other than the headline, you know, what was in bold, which was said, we have to do something to stop this bastard from killing our pups. It was enough to have it imprinted in my brain, though worse, though, was the picture. And of course, it kept popping up in my mind, and I was a wreck because I have a very strong affinity with dogs. I volunteered in a rescue for 3 years, and I just have a heart for them. Any animal, but especially dogs. Anyway, sorry, let me get back on track and not emotional. The reason I said don't shoot the messenger is because I was driving to the store, I had the picture pop up in my mind, I started bawling, and then I got pissed off. I got majorly pissed off. Why did that son of a bitch have to post that picture? Because I can't get it out of my head. And I just was imagining all the pain and the horror that the poor innocent loving dog, well, dogs, apparently multiple dogs, had gone through, and it was, I mean, it was ripping my heart out. And I was so angry at the person that posted, thinking, couldn't there have been some kind of community alert without the picture? You know, I know that when people post these things about abuse or neglect that results in, you know, the ultimate in harm to animals, they're trying to inspire outrage among the public. But I don't think they understand that for some of us, It takes days, sometimes weeks, and literally I still have things pop up from a few years ago now and then that I learned about and wish I hadn't. Some of us are just that sensitive. Now, if it can promote some kind of community action, if there's any way it can help the animals, then I'll put up with the way I suffer. But sometimes I think people don't get the response they want, or they don't present it in a way that will get people coming together to protect the animals. It's just, I don't know. It harms me. I'm just going to leave it there. You know what? I need to take a break. I'll be right back. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. I just need to take some time away. And now I have to figure out where I left off. Good luck with that one, huh? Well, it was wanting to shoot the messenger, the person that posted, because this post was haunting me. And I was having a very challenging time. But that night was the night that I have some women gather online for some card pulls and communing with each other, spiritual people. And I explained that my energy was probably crap, that I was feeling challenged. And as I started to explain why, at their prompting, one of the wise women pointed out to me that the hurt I was feeling, whoops, let me turn this off. Okay, sound, go away. Pointed out to me that the hurt I was feeling was my own and not that of the dogs. And she encouraged me to do some releasing. Well, that really got me thinking. I had not made that connection at all. And you know, that's how it is. We're usually clueless about ourselves. You know, just like with intuition, we may have our intuition just boom, 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 spot on for other people, but we're dumb shits about our own because we have things to learn. If we knew everything that was going to happen, we wouldn't learn. We wouldn't have the experiences that help us grow. So I did what she suggested after we got done online, and this was something that occupied my thoughts for quite a while. It came to a big realization, and also was privy to some information from my guides that gave me some peace. Now, you don't have to listen to this. This is about my own healing. But I'm sharing this because, as I've said before, this stuff comes up when we're ready to deal with it. We may not think so. We may be scared as crap to go forward and dig into this stuff. But when we're ready, we grow the balls and we do it. We plow forward and we start digging and uncovering what we need to uncover. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that after my brain surgeries, a couple years later, I discovered that I didn't have any independent memories of my first 6 years, that I had blocked those out. And what I didn't realize was part of what I was carrying around was guilt about what had happened to a couple family pets, my pets. So I'm not sure in what sequence to do this, but let me just say that there is a phenomena, I don't know why I can't ever get that straight, where when a soul, whether a human or an animal, is about to experience severe trauma, their soul can be lifted from their body so that it is not traumatized as they are ending their life in extremely painful and horrific ways. The divine can scoop their soul out so it's merely the body, the shell, that is experiencing this. And the soul moves ahead. And this is what my guides, bless their hearts, let me know about the dogs. That, 1 minute they're wagging their tails and they're anticipating pets and praise. And they didn't experience all that I had been imagining they did. It was as if they blinked their eyes and then they were in this wonderful place that we call the afterlife. There was no trauma for them. That gave me a lot of peace. But it did lead me to wonder why I was reacting the way I did. And although I am no writer, and these are not fancy words, I did come up with a small, not really a poem, but just something that describes pretty much the process I went through with this discovery of what I needed to heal. So give me just a minute, I'm going to pull that up and I'll be right back. The child and the dogs, put on this earth to love unconditionally, trusting, loving, bouncing up and down with excitement, waiting for praise, anticipating the pleasure of physical affection, trusting, loving, beaming joy, ready for their loyalty and devotion to be rewarded. Then the slice, the blow, the excruciating pain, blending with confusion about what they could possibly have done to bring this horror onto them. The child, now grown, felt it all, sobbing with compassion for the soul sent away by betrayal that made no sense. The adult was told the dog's souls were swooped away before anything but their natural exuberance could be experienced. It was as if they blinked and next opened their eyes in a magical place where their every need and desire was granted practically the moment formed. The child? The adult asked. The child did not have that blessed escape. It was then the adult finally understood. The agony she had imagined the dogs had experienced, but had not been made to go through. The child had not been spared, believing she deserved it, though still confused, accepting her reality, but never understanding. It was then the adult understood she had escaped in the only way she could, by wiping out the memories, by pretending none of it had taken place. It was then the adult forgave herself for running away from the truth and loved her brave soul for finding a way to survive. I have felt like a coward that I can't get those blocked years back. I mean, I've had things come in, it's very obvious to me why I blocked. But I have felt like a coward, like I'm doing all this personal work. Why the hell can't I get these memories back? I'm just chicken shit. I'm just still avoiding dealing. And then I have come around to thinking, no, enough has come in. I know why I have blocked it. And I don't think I need to put myself through that anymore. And yet, I still have judged myself to be a coward. With this, I realized the pain I had felt that I thought was for the dogs was the pain I felt for myself. So imprinted somewhere in me was all this pain for what I had gone through but still don't remember. I needed to get this stuff out. I needed to cry like I did. I needed to feel this pain. I needed to somehow release this, even without memory. So these dogs, the story of these dogs, bless their loving souls, helped me do this. They helped me heal. That's the other thing, the things that happened to my pets. I had been carrying guilt, thinking if not for me, they would have lived. You know, they paid a price because they loved me and I loved them. Well, with this circumstance of what had been going on in the community, I got to thinking about the owners that find their beloved dogs, that may have let them roam so that they became victims, that maybe didn't keep them safe or were beating themselves up about not keeping them safe, that maybe felt responsible for what happened and so were carrying guilt around. And I realized it was no different than what happened to the child, to me. I wasn't responsible. The owners aren't responsible. The people responsible were mentally disturbed. People who probably had so much pain of their own and just had come to release it in very unhealthy and damaging ways. It wasn't on the child that the pets died. It wasn't on the owners of the dogs that the dogs died. You know, guys, sometimes bad things happen to good people. Sometimes bad things happen to beautiful, unconditionally loving dogs and other pets. Sometimes life just fucking doesn't seem fair, but it is life. So for me to take that burden off myself, the child, and the adult was pretty huge. And I'm not sure if I'm winding this up in the right way, but I guess the way I want to do it is to say I'm not going to kill the messenger. I'm actually going to thank the messenger, because that was some pretty big stuff for me. I mean, really, pretty big stuff is an understatement. That was huge for me. I had been thinking, you know, of these sacrifices on my behalf and that I was responsible. If I had only been more malleable, if I had only, you know, been more compliant with what was happening to me, if I had only, you know, quit looking at the perpetrators so that they felt I was seeing through them and had to hurt me more because they couldn't stand that I knew their truth. You know, I had all these if onlys. And the biggest one, that I felt like I was a coward for escaping by eliminating the memories. And to come to this realization that it was what I had to do to survive. That it wasn't cowardice. It was the thing that kept me here or from going insane while here. Was just huge. So, not that I ever want to see that picture again, not that I ever want to see that post again, and I'm still running away from facing the truth of what's happening to the poor dogs in this community. But I do thank the messenger. And I guess my point would be to you. If a messenger delivers something to you that makes you extremely uncomfortable to the point you're pissed and you wish you never had heard it, it may be because you're ready to hear the message. You may be ready to work through it. You know, this healing stuff hurts like hell. It's hard to get through. But when you're on the other side, you know, it feels fan-fucking-tastic. And that's when you need to pat yourself on the back and say, phew, it was a close one. Looked like maybe you weren't going to make it through, but by God, you're strong and you did it. Healing's not easy, but is it worthwhile? Hell yeah. If this did trigger anyone, I am sorry. I did warn, and I'll try to remember to put things in the video before I post it that are big and in your face about that. It's not anything I wanted to share to upset anyone, but I think you can see how I couldn't really leave out the details of the trigger and still get to the point. I hope you understand. Alright guys, no more crying. I don't know why I just wanted to say this, but I did. I love you. Hang in there, these are tough times, but you're not alone and you are loved. Okay? Bye. Just in time, there's Charlie barking to go out. Take care.